World-class athletes, musicians, artists, and dancers often share this in common. Their work is their life, and it begins at a very young age. For boys who aspire to dance ballet at the highest levels, it can be a grueling journey. How do they start down that path? Let's find out from two such motivated young men from Canada's National Ballet School. Anton Tcherny, who is going into grade 8 this fall, and Tomash, a member of the graduating class of 2017. Welcome. What was it about ballet that made you want to pursue it?
The challenge, really the satisfaction of getting something that you've been striving for days or maybe months even.
How old were you when you started to dance?
I'd say 6.
And how old are you now?
I'm 12.
You're 12. And what made you decide to go to the National Ballet School?
My old dance teacher at a very small studio in Toronto recommended to audition for the school, and that's where it kind of took off.
Describe a typical day for you at the school.
Get to school.
At what time?
8:15.
Okay.
Go to academics for the first few hours of the day. Have lunch. Go to ballet. Jump back into academics.
And how long for the ballet? Like
For
an
the ballet,
hour,
2
2
hours.
hours? 2 hours,
2
okay.
hours. Jump back into academics for an hour, and then after school, dance.
And then homework?
And then homework.
And then homework.
Yeah.
And Ryan, you graduated after 7 years at the school. Do you remember why you originally chose ballet?
Ballet. So I always started dancing when I was about 4 years old. My brother and my sister, we used to do competitive dancing. And then at the age of 10, I went to the ballet school. And there was kind of a point when I was in 9th grade, 10th grade, where I was kind of really questioning if I wanted to even continue with ballet and make it my career.
Why? Why were you questioning it?
The passion wasn't quite there as it used to be and as it is now. But then there's something about being on stage and dancing and performing and just showing what you love to the people that you love, and that's why I do it.
We're going to show a clip of a documentary we're airing on TVO called Ballet Boys, and I was watching it, and in the documentary you see how much work the boys do. Like, it's such a physical sport. Do you find that people don't realize how physical ballet is?
I feel that if they don't really take time to realize what's behind the scenes, if they didn't see a video or see what actually happens behind the scenes, they don't know what goes into it. But I feel like a lot of people appreciate if they know how hard you work to make it look so effortless.
And how much physical work goes into doing what you do, making it so flawless?
Years
Ryan?
of training, years of training, every single day.
And you have to train your feet, you have to train every part of your body.
Yeah.
Your whole body. What do you think it takes to be a success in ballet, Anton?
Passion.
Is it that easy, like passion, just passion for the sport?
One word sounds so simple, but it's really a really big word. It's
What does that word mean to you?
it means everything, really. It's to to love something, love to strive for something, to enjoy.
And you put that first, above everything else.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Ryan, for you?
I think that once you become a professional, there's definitely like a base of technique that everyone has to have. But what sets apart the normal people from the people who are going to be great is you bring your own thing to it. And so when people are on stage, they're watching you, and they're not watching you replicate someone else. And so I think that originality is something that you definitely have to have along with passion and along with the technique, because if you don't have the technique and you have all the passion, then it's not so beautiful to watch on stage. But if you have that technique along with the passion and the originality, it's like you're watching a piece of art, something's exactly being created.
Okay, tell us about the training. How do you train? Playing video games?
Sometimes.
Sometimes.
If you have free time. Really just practice. If you were to get a correction in class or work on it, make it solid, just practice.
And what is the practice? Like, do you run? Do you lift weights? Do you, like, what kind of
You mean outside of school?
No, like, to get your body prepared to dance.
Stretch, anything to get your blood flowing. Maybe some jumping jacks.
I like jumping jacks. It's, I think, the only thing I can do now in my old age. Brian, what have you had to sacrifice? Do you feel like you've had to sacrifice your studies to dance?
My studies?
Yeah.
Oh, no, not at the school so much, because we have an academic program there. And so it's kind of equal. We go to school in the morning from 8:15 to 12, and then dance takes place afterwards. And when you're in the academic building, you focus on academics. When you're in the dance building, you focus on dance. And so we kind of get to do the best of both.
But it doesn't sound like you have any social life. Do you have a social life outside
Outside
of
of the school,
Outside of the school?
very small, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have a social life in the school?
Yeah.
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 That's where all your friends are.
It sounds like you have a lot on your plate, and it's great that you have passion, but do you ever have one of those days where you're just like, I just don't want to do this anymore? Ryan, I know you said you went through a period where you wanted to stop, but Anton?
I feel like I haven't had enough time at the school to really think, I'm done. I've lost it, the passion, I mean. But I think everyone has their days, no matter what you're doing, if it's any sport at all. Everyone has their days where I'm just lazy, I don't want to go to school, it's too tired. But I don't feel like I've had that stopping point, that breaking point yet.
And is there any kind of like, I don't know, because I know when I was watching the Ballet Boys documentary, they spoke about the stereotypes, like boys don't dance ballet. Have you ever had to confront that?
Luckily enough, I actually haven't. I grew up in an environment where everyone was very accepting of what I did. Even when I went to a normal school, people always were like super interested, asking me all these questions. And so I was fortunate enough to never really have to go through that.
And you, Anton?
Yeah, no, I wouldn't say that I had to deal with anything negative. All my friends were really supportive and always wondering how my day was.
And I should mention too, at the National Ballet School, they have more than 40% of the students there are boys, and which has been a steady increase in the last 10, 15 years. So there are a lot of boys dancing ballet. How different is it for boys, for girls dancing ballet?
Point is a big difference. If you don't know, point is the point shoe where you stand on the tips of your toes. Guys are lucky enough to not have to do that, but girls have that extra step of learning point work.
And what else?
I feel kind of the competition for boys is much smaller than it is for girls, because there are so many girls in the ballet world, and there's so many good girls that are also so original and have all this stuff. And so the competition is so much higher, but for boys, there's a lot less of us. And so we kind of have it a little bit easier, I would say, than the girls.
Then what do boys have to do to stand out then?
Stand out, you have to be a presence on stage. You have to have good pas de deux work is when you partner the girl.
Right, so how you like move the girl?
Exactly,
right?
yeah. And so you have to be good at that. But then again, you have to be good at dancing on your own. You have to be good when you're doing a solo. And so if you have that package, then you're a good male dancer, I think, yeah.
And who are your role models in the dancing world?
I haven't had the chance to meet dancers outside of Canada, but I've met a lot from our company here in Toronto. And their personalities outside of dance really kind of get you going. You're like, oh, they're not just this icon, they're normal people, and I'd say all of them really inspire me.
Especially Ryan, right?
Really, yeah. A big
Ryan's
one.
the best.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys.
And what about you, Ryan?
I would say Guillaume Coté, the National Ballet, and David Hallberg, the American Ballet Theater in New York City.
And what about them makes them special to you?
Guillaume Coté, when he's on stage, it's like you're watching him tell a story. Just the way that he presents himself on stage and the way he dances and goes through each movement, it's inspiring, and it is such a joy to watch. And then David Hallberg is like the epitome of perfect technique. I think he's tall, he's long, he has great feet, great extensions, he can jump. And so watching him is like, wow, it's possible that you can be tall, you can do multiple pirouettes, jump really high, have nice feet. And when watching Guillaume Coté, it's like you can also tell a story while dancing.
And that's the thing about ballet. You're telling a story all the time, right? You're storytellers in a sense. Do you think that you'll stick with it?
Yeah.
Because you before we started taping, you said that it's something that you've decided to do.
Yeah.
When you say that this is what you want to do because you are still really young, do you find anyone saying, oh, you'll change your mind later? Or like, how do you know this is what you want to do?
Really the passion, my mindset. Because I go to this school with people that all have the same interests as me. And we're all striving for the same thing. And I feel like in the past few years, maybe I've forgotten, but no one's told me that you'll lose the passion or this, or you won't make it because we're in a school that trains you to make it.
So what would your ultimate goal be, like in 15 years? Where do you see yourself?
Happy.
That's
dancing,
a great answer.
hopefully.
Dancing, yeah.
Yeah.
Happy is good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dancing, hopefully.
And Ryan, you are going somewhere soon. Where are you going?
To the Royal Danish Ballet in Copenhagen.
That's incredible. So this is a big thing.
Yeah.
What does it mean for you? What are you going to be doing?
I will be dancing full time and getting paid to do so, but it's kind of like a new chapter in my life. I'm moving away from home. I never lived away from home. I'll be living by myself. I'll have to cook for myself, clean my own house. I'll have to kind of be independent, and that's something that I never really have experienced before, kind of, because I've been to summer exchanges where you're gone for a month, and then you're independent for a month, but you come back, give your mom a big hug, and you eat her cooking, and you go back home to your nice bed.
Yeah.
And so,
and laundry done.
Yeah, exactly. I have to do my own laundry too. No, so I think that it'll be really good for me. It'll be something that I will mature. I'll definitely mature when I go over there because I'll be by myself.
And what does it mean to accomplish this? Because you are relatively young, and now you're going to be doing what you've been training for all these years.
It's a dream come true, honestly.
It's a dream come true. And how do you plan on celebrating before you go?
Before I go, big party at my house, probably. Inviting all the friends and family over to celebrate.
Well, thank you so much. Good luck.
Thank you.
I know you'll make Canada proud.
Thank you very much.
And Anton, thank you so much for being here as well.
For sure, yeah, of course.
Help TVO create a better world through the power of learning. Visit TVO.org and make a tax-deductible donation today.